It's important to know that we are born out of the banks of the Congaree River. So the river really holds a special place in our community, and you can see how we've made that accessible for everyone by the work that we've done on our Riverwalk. We have about 20 miles of trails just in our city alone, and it connects seamlessly to the rest of the Three Rivers Greenway. So where we're standing right now is in the middle of our Cayce River Arts District, and there's a really cool story behind what's happening here. This was an area that when I first became mayor was just languishing. The buildings were shuttered, there was really no energy down here, but this is the original heart of our city. In fact, we're standing right next to where our original city hall was from the 1930s, and that building was shuttered. The only thing that was down here was a restaurant that was right at the corner of State and Frank Street. But then in 2015, I got invited to participate in the Mayor's Institute for City Design. And that is a national program that is a collaboration of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, the National Endowment of the Arts, and the American Institute of Architects. Didn't cost our city a dime, but they only take 8 mayors from across the nation at a time. So it was a really amazing opportunity for our city. And each mayor has to bring an opportunity or a challenge that they're working on for our city. And so I presented this original heart of our city, our original downtown, and said, we're trying to figure out how to revitalize this. We can't figure out what to do. We can't figure out how to get traction. And I learned a term when I was there that I'd never heard before. Pre-vitalization. I knew what revitalization was, but I didn't know what pre-vitalization was. And pre-vitalization is the art of what's possible. We had to help people see what this could be, how it could look in its second life. So I came back and worked with our staff, and we threw a street party. It's called the Soiree on State, and it's coming up again in March. But it happens every spring. Other than COVID, it happened every spring. And what we did was we closed off the street in this section of the city and put up a stage, and we had great music and great food and great drinks. And we had citizens walking down the street that I've never seen walking down the street. While we were there, we had people say, you're going to do this again, right? When are you going to do this again? We want you to do this again. We had over 1,500 people come to a first-time event, which is pretty unheard of. But that street party wasn't just for connection and social gathering and family fun. It had a purpose. And so we went to these building owners and we said, hey, when we throw this street party, will you just clean out the inside of your building? And so several of them did. And when they cleaned out the inside of their building, we hosted artists inside. So while people were here for the street party, they went into those buildings, looked at the art and bought some art, but they also went, I kind of like this space. And before we even held our second one, we had a business open. So right across the street from the art lot where we're standing is Swatch Graphics. They're a graphic design company. They were the first one to open. Then we had Peacewise Coffee. Then we have state-of-the-art gallery and pottery studio. And then we had Dialed Bicycles and MPA Strategies, State and Frank meeting space. We now have soon to open Trini Lime Caribbean food, which is amazing, and Salvage Sisters. It's exploded. Once we got people to see what was possible down here, people wanted to be a part of it. And it's been a great economic development engine that really has cost our city very little, that's brought us all together, but created all of these opportunities for small business. So for folks who aren't from here and maybe haven't experienced this part of Cayce, we really encourage you to come here. There's parking right here in our art lot, which is at 1908 State Street. If you put that into your GPS, 1908 State Street. Right here you can park in our art lot. There's a great space to enjoy putting on your own art show. There's a place for a picnic on the picnic tables that the students from Lexington 2 built. But then right across the street there's a local coffee shop, Peacewise Coffee. You can hop in there, get a coffee, take the kids down to the Riverwalk, because we're also right here at a trailhead for the Three Rivers Greenway. And we have about 20 miles of trails that run through just the city of Cayce alone. But there's also right up the road Steel Hands Brewery, which is a great place to gather with friends and family. And then there's Henry's of Cayce right here. So lots of opportunities to come and eat and shop and get down on the Riverwalk. Come and join us.